Greetings. Love, light, and darkness be unto you. Blessings. I would be remiss if I didn't come with a full connection with sex and polyamorous living and the substance and basis of healthy polyamorous living. So, I'm back. And I don't know if this is going to be a part 2. So this is part 2, okay? Um I just had to do this because I was sharing the last video with someone and they mentioned how messy polyamorous and poly living can be. And it's true because, like I said before, many people they gravitate to this lifestyle only thinking about the freedom of being able to have sex with whoever they want to have sex with. Granted, that is something that happens within the lifestyle of being polyamorous, being polygamous, being polyandry, or, polygamous. It happens, people have sex with more than one partner. What is not talked about a lot with the polyamory or the poly lifestyle is the dedication that it takes from individual beings to be whole. There is a lot of self work that needs to happen and go on for you to have productive relationships and be productive in your relating, period. Now, as an individual, like I've mentioned already before, I've told y'all that I've been poly since I was a teenager. I just didn't know that that's what it was or that it was called that it had a label. But that's how long that I have operated that way because I just felt that that's what was natural, for me. However, when I became an adult and put those practices into play continuously, and I started to learn more about myself, I realized that there was some healing that needed to take place. Now, I mentioned in the last video that when you engage in sex, because sex is sacred to me, everybody don't look at it that way, but when you engage in sex, there is an opportunity for healing. You can heal from a lot of different things. That's part of the energy of the magic of sex. It is an opportunity for healing. It is not the only way to heal. But if you have had some traumatic experiences in your life and you are with one being who you trust to engage with in that way, just the engaging itself can open up a whole nother world, a whole part of you within your being that needs to be addressed. So it's a lot. It's a lot, and there's great depth in all of this. But when I talk about polyamory and the lifestyle and, my experience with it, I'm only touching the surface. If you want to know more in depth about this is definitely something that you have to seek for yourself. You have to educate yourself. You have to learn the truth for you because everybody's truth along their journey is different. My truth for my journey is different than your truth for your journey. What works for me may not work for you. Therefore, as I share, know this. The most effective way to operate in a poly relationship is to be whole going into it. How can one be whole going into a polyamorous or a poly lifestyle relationship? Number one, you cannot have a monogamous mindset. You have to unlearn that thing and relearn the true attributes of love, what it means to love, what the true meaning of love is. Not typically this ideal love that society has op- I don't even know the words for it, given us. Let me make it simple. Not the idea of what society has given us. Oh, this fairy tale love where the Prince Charming, knight in shining armor shows up and the woman is always the damsel in distress, and the fantasy love, the Cinderella love, the Snow White love, the Princess and the Frog love. That thing, it's not real. You have to understand that love is a frequency. Love is a vibration. Love is consciousness. It's a way of being. It can be shown through action, but it is not action alone. Materialism expressions is not just love. You can't buy love. You cannot buy love. If someone tells you that they love someone because they're constantly buying them things, and well, that's not love. They just like being taken care of with materialism, and there's nothing wrong with that, but that's not love. Different people have different ways of expressing their loves, and for them maybe that is love. Let me speak for myself. For me, that's not what love is. Okay, so what I want you to understand, if you don't get anything from what I'm saying, because this is important, yo. Everyone that comes into your life comes into your life for a purpose. Unfortunately, but fortunately, a lot of us have endured a lot of things in our childhood. We've been exposed to a lot of different things. We've learned behaviors in relating to our families and our parents, and just living and growing up in society or in the culture that we grew up in. We adapted some mindsets about life, period. And 9 times out of 10, when you start adapting mindsets about life consciously and subconsciously, you apply those thoughts, those ideas to your everyday living. So, when you decide to open your relationship and become poly, if you're already in a relationship and you and your partner decide, okay, we want to add people to this union, this unit, what have you, you got to be ready for that thing. You can't go in it blindsided. You have to have clear communication. You have to have resources and tools. You know how people go to counseling before they get married? They call it marriage counseling. You know how people go to counseling after they get married? Continued marriage counseling. You need that. And I'm not saying specifically that kind of counseling, but you need guidance beforehand, during, and after. It's work. Being poly is not just a trend lifestyle. It's really work. If you really want to live it and operate it in a healthy and effective way, it's work. Like anything else in life, You have to apply yourself to the depths of the subject matter to understand yourself within it. How do I become whole if I want to be poly? I wanted to learn so much about myself. Like, look, y'all, I'm a nerd. All I do is read books now. For the last year, I took a break because I needed to be writing and doing things of my own. But I was still reading every now and then. I ain't gonna say the last year because I'm gonna say the last 4 months, 4 to 5 months. For the last 4 to 5 months, I took a break, but I was still reading in between, but not just like I was reading a lot. Like, I read books like all the time, literally. I read books, and I like to have a book in my hand that I can touch and feel. Sometimes I do the audio books, but I prefer a book that I can actually touch and feel. I'm that kind of reader. Anyway, I'm bringing all that up to say, when I decided that I wanted to be healthy and whole and learn more about myself, I had to dig deep into this poly thing. I was blessed to be able to find a platform, a networking community that understood the importance of clear, effective communication during a transition from being monogamous or having a monogamous mindset to living a polyamorous lifestyle. I found this group on Facebook. The group is called Progressive Love Academy, PLE. And it is a community ran by a husband and a wife, Kenya K. Stevens and Carl Stevens, aka Rakim Sekou. And they are a phenomenal couple. They have been married over 26 years. By their 13th year, they became poly. But they did it in a way that was healthy and effective. And because they found a niche that worked for them, they decided to share it because they realized that that was a part of their life journey, their calling. Now, mind you, everybody has their niche and their calling to deal with certain things within life. That is a good place to start, to get the ins and outs, know the premises of how to communicate effectively, how to become a whole, how to transition from monogamy to polyamory or, poly living. Most people who are monogamous, they have a jealous mindset, a possessive mindset. They deal with a lot of jealousy and possession issues dealing with their partner. A lot of times, the jealousy and the possession issues do not stem from the partner itself or the relationship itself. It stems from learned behaviors as a child. Those are things, that they learned as a child. Those feelings are coming up and out because something is not resonating within them in the way that it should. Okay? This is as plain and simple as I could put it. Like I said, living poly in a healthy perspective, in a healthy way, is work. It's not easy. I get up here on a platform and I talk to y'all about how I live. I be transparent with y'all. I joke, I hee, all the good stuff. It's like gossip, right? But for real, it's work, baby. It is not easy. And if you are not in a position to do your self-work, then you ain't ready to be poly. Because you need to have yourself together before you bring yourself to others. Now, in general, this is how I see it, period. This is how anybody should be before entering any kind of relationship, point blank. But especially if you want to explore being poly, you need to have your stuff together. Your mental, your spiritual, and your physical. You need to have your stuff together. Now, as I mentioned, Progressive Love Academy, there's a group on Facebook. You can join the group, get to know the community. There's a school called Psalms that Rakim and Kenya created where you can learn stuff that helps you to become a better person in this life journey, period. You can take different courses and learn about all kinds of things. And speaking of such, I told you I'm a teacher too. So I will be offering my own courses soon in collaboration with my bestie. It is going to be the School of Divine Feminine Wisdom. Excuse me. And we are going to take the time to educate people, women especially, who need to know truth about themselves, this life journey, insight on healing, operating in divine feminine energies, everything that we could possibly share and think of that we are guided to share. It is forthcoming. Classes are already in the making and on the way. My best friend, Veronica Marie, some of you may know her from videos that I've shared about her, from posts that I post on IG, because we share a lot of each other's stuff. She's a feminine mentor, health, fitness coach, emotional wellness coach, divine feminine goddess. We both are divine feminine goddess. And we have journeyed together for a long time, long way, 14 plus years. We have journeyed together. We've grown together. We've learned together. We ourselves consider ourselves to be in a connected relationship that displays poly vibes. And you remember how I told you, you could be connected to someone and be in a poly relationship with them and not it be non-sexual and it just be like platonic. It happens. It's real. Those kind of connections are there, and those partnerships are there for purpose. It's about community. It's about the village. It's about working together and bringing forth the truth for those beings that need to see the light and the darkness. It's about balance. The flip side of being polyamorous that people don't like to talk about. You have to be whole. You need to be healed, because otherwise you're just swapping energies back and forth when you engage sexually. And you're either getting more of something that you don't need or giving out more of something that somebody else doesn't need. And it's just a constant thing back and forth. That's why I see sex is sacred for me. And before I engage with people like that in this season of my life, I gotta know them, baby. I gotta know their energy. I gotta know all about them in a way. And when I say know, I'm not just talking about knowing their business. I need to know their being. I need to know how they operate, how they think, what program they under. Because we all are under different programs in this matrix. If you ever seen the movie The Matrix, that's a whole nother thing. For some of y'all, it'll go over y'all heads. For some of y'all will catch it. but we're all under different programs. Some of us know who we are and why we've come here. We haven't always known. Nah, I take that back. We have always known. Our higher self just had to connect with us and allow us to tap into it to really see the truth. And once we begin to see that truth, we do any and everything that we need to do to live and operate in that truth. I'm one of them people. Some people call it awakening. Some people call it being enlightened. It's all kind of different names, terms, whatever you want to call it. I call it finding myself. Waking up, knowing my truth. Unlearning and relearning. That's what I call it. Knowing my truth. Knowing what my purpose is and why I'm here. Now, like I said, polyamory and living poly is not for everybody. Even though I honestly think that all humans naturally are poly. But because some of us have chosen the lifestyle and the path that we have, it might not work this go round in this life, in this journey for you. Everybody's not going to be poly. Everybody shouldn't. Like I said, you must choose what's best for you. Choose what's best for you. Choose your truth and what works for you. So, with that being said, know thyself. To know thyself is to become whole. To know the light side and the dark side. You ever seen a yin yang? There's black and it's white and it's combined together. There is no darkness without light. There is no light without darkness. Therefore, like some would say, there's no good without evil. They don't exist. If you have ever wanted to know about life and the principles of it, the energy, I'm looking at my bookcase because I'm trying to find this book that's specifically about what I'm talking about, and I just want to be able to look at it and put my hand on it. So I can give it to y'all. Anyway, it's called the Kybalion, Kybalion, by the 3 initiates. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can pull it real quick. Nope, I'm not putting my hand on it quick enough. I really wanted to show that book. Gone. And just because I want to find it, ain't that how it always goes? Okay, anyway, I wanted to find it. Like, look, y'all, I got a whole... I can't believe I couldn't find it that quick. That's why I was looking so hard the first time. Anyway, the Kybalion, Kybalion, by the 3 initiates. That is the book that you can read to begin to understand the hermetic principles of life, vibration, about the earth, about the world, about this realm that we live in. Okay? So, taking a deep breath and sighing because I feel some kind of way. I couldn't put my hand on that book real quick. And I want to keep looking over there to see if I see it. But I'm going to stop. I hate when that happens to me because I just be wanting to put my hand right on something. I'm going to make sure I find it. Matter of fact, I will post a link in this video in the description. If I can, I'll post a link on that. But I told you the name of the book and who it's by. So look into it. Also, if you want to understand life from the perspective of why we choose lovers the way that we do. Okay, Rakim and Kenya K. Stevens, the couple I was telling you about earlier, they have written several books. One of the books that they wrote is called Up Level Communication, UPLVL, and it teaches how to communicate effectively, not the way that we were taught how to communicate with one another, a different way that works and gives space for people to express themselves in every facet of the way. Have you ever heard of the different terms of your animal speaking, your ego speaking? There are different parts and sides of us consciously from a personality perspective that speaks. So having an understanding of that and knowing how to communicate with people, knowing when in a timely way they're expressing their self and it's really just the animal within them speaking and not so much the ego or vice versa. Having that knowledge and understanding makes life so much better because you can not take things personal. No shame, no blame. Nothing is no one's fault per se. Things just happen. It is what it is. Life has to unfold so that you can carry on within your journey. For some people, like I say, I do a lot of research. I read a lot, and some people are not willing or want to go that extra mile or do those things to learn about life. Some people just rather would just live and live vicariously through other people or learn through living. Everybody learns differently. Everybody are not audio visual or, kind of learners. Everybody learns differently. So anyway, one of the books that they wrote, Up Level Communication, it is on Amazon.com. I read the book. Very helpful to me. Another book that they have written, The 9 Expressions of Love, which is also on Amazon.com. I know y'all probably like, why are you bigging these people up talking about their books? Aren't you an author? Don't you write books too? Yes, baby, I do. Excuse me. I do. I write books too. But I have no problem with sharing information and sharing the love and knowledge of understanding life and relationships according to the experiences of others and how they've learned to make things work for themselves, and maybe by sharing it can help you as well. I don't have no problem with that because, baby, when I tell you I read those books and it helped me. It helped me tremendously. I put in action what I needed. I did the work. And like I keep saying, to be poly is to know thyself. If you want, with any relationship, period, but if you want to delve into the realm of poly, you must know yourself. You must know who you are and stand firm in your knowing and be able to communicate effectively Be whole. Be healed. If you got a whole lot of traumatic issues in your life and you have not healed from them things, don't get no poly relationship. That's not what you want to do. That's not what you should be doing. That's not what you should do in any kind of relationship. But that's what we do all the time. You know? Because we didn't know no better. We had traumatic experiences in life in general, and then we just jumped into relationships. And then we wonder why our relationships end up the way that they are. Or we wonder why we attract the kind of people we attract, like trauma bonds. I've talked about that before on my previous series of soulspiration videos. I've talked about trauma bonds. Like some people literally attract people based upon similarities of traumas that they've experienced in life. You might see two people who was molested as children for years together. Both of them been because they experienced the trauma. They know the similarities of that and what it's like to feel that way, and so they're a comfort to one another. Codependency relationships, like the list goes on. There's a whole lot that can be said about relating, relationships, being healthy, being whole, knowing the truth about the ins and outs of you within a poly relationship or just a relationship in general. So the best way, the most best way, the most best way to operate in a poly relationship is to go into it with a whole mindset, with your whole self. And when I say whole, I mean having perspectives, open mind, understanding, being free. I said before to y'all, living a poly lifestyle is about being free. For me, it's freedom and liberation, and there's no judgment. I don't judge people in general. There's no judgment. I don't judge myself. I don't judge others. I allow me to be me. I allow my partners, my friends, whoever I connect with, to be themselves. And I encourage them to be themselves, no matter what that looks like for them. I don't project my thoughts and my ideas about them onto them. I let them be. People will think they know you because they have known you for years. I have known some people since I was a kid, literally elementary school, middle school, high school. I've known them for years. But just because they known me that long, don't mean that they know me. Just because they have known me that long, this day, today, that does not mean that they know me, the person I am today. They have an idea because of the past. They knew what I was like back then. And some things are similar and still remain the same, and some things don't remain the same. So whatever knowledge that they had or knowing about me back then, they cannot totally, completely apply that to the being that I am today and say, oh, I know her. No, you don't. In order for you to truly know who I am today, you got to know me. You got to get to know me all over again. Yes, there are some things, like I said, there are some things about me, my personality, my characteristics that have not changed over the years. And one of them things being, which I've already shared with y'all, I like girls since I was a kid. That ain't changed. I have always seen things since I was a kid. That hasn't changed. There are just some characteristics about people. I was always different. I was always what people will call weird. I used to hang around with the crowd, but I wasn't in the crowd. People knew who I was, but I didn't want to be known. If that makes sense to y'all. Anyway, why am I saying all this? Because when you finally decide that you want to know the truth about life, period, about why you are here, have you ever, and I ask this question a lot to people, and they be looking at me like I'm crazy. But I just wonder, because I know I'm not the only person. Have you ever just sat in a room by yourself and just thought, like, how did I get here? Why am I here? Where did I come from? What is this world? Why does this system operate the way that it does? What is creation? Like, you never sit and ask yourself questions? Like, yo, when I was in the church and I would be spewed the religious culture, I asked questions of myself all the time. I was like, is this really God? Does God really operate like this? Or is this man-made? Is this Bible real, or did these people just make this up and trying to control us? Like, literally, I started asking questions. Mind you, the whole time while I was asking questions, I was still going to church. Because I wanted to be pleasing in the eyes of the Lord. I'm not knocking nobody. I always say this. I've had my own experience and my own relationship with religion and the culture of it as a Christian. Growing up in different denominations within the church. But what I learned for myself is that there's no greater love and there's no greater understanding of existence than the understanding of knowing thyself. Why do I say that? Because I am a goddess. I am literally the portal to the cosmic realm. Life comes through me. Life is able to come through me. Life is able to grow inside of me. I am a woman. So when I sat with that thing and I decided that it was time for me to be free and liberated in all of my being, then I needed to look deep. And so I started looking deep. I started taking off the layers of things. I started going through therapy, literally. I started journaling, writing things down. I started praying. And when I say praying, this was my prayer. Creator, God, show forth truth in my life. Show me the truth about me. Show me the truth about my life. I don't want to know what other people know. I want to know the truth for me, about me. Show me. Show me my way. Why am I here? Show me. Guide me. I'm open to receiving the guidance. Lead me. That was my prayer. And when I started praying that thing, baby, All kind of doors started opening up. People was coming in my life. I was seeing all kind of things. People were showing me books, revelations about life in general. Like when you open yourself up to be prepared to know thyself, like the saying goes, when the student is prepared, the teacher will show forth. That is life itself. So, by happenstance, if you came across this video and you're on your path of your life journey and you are wanting to know more about yourself, this is the beginning. If you have watched a series of my videos and any of them have said anything to you, then baby, you connecting with me some kind of way. And there's purpose in that connection. There's purpose in you understanding the truth about life and knowing the truth for yourself. I am always going to share my truth. I'm always going to be as transparent as I can be according to what I need to share as far as guidance and helping humanity. The call and purpose on my life is to be a servant unto humanity. I was called to this earth to be a servant. How does one serve? How do I serve? By connecting and having relationships with other humans and sharing my experience in my life, sharing my gifts with people. That's how I serve. I am an educator by nature. Teaching comes naturally to me. I teach people all the time. They don't even know I be teaching them. I teach. Baby, that's what I do. Writing comes natural to me. I've been writing since I was 10 years old. I can do all kind of things with words and create and manifest with words. It's a part of my gift. And I share that with the world in many ways. I have many gifts. And like I've said before, I don't say this to you to toot no horn, to be arrogant, but I am bold and I am confident in knowing this, that I will fulfill the purpose and calling of my journey of why I have come forth, because I know why I'm here. The question is, do you know why you are here? The reason why I'm an advocate for polyamorous lifestyle is because I know why I'm here. I know where I came from. I wanted to say where I come from, but I know where I came from. And I know the lifestyle works for me because of the work that I have to do within this lifetime. That's why I say it ain't for everybody. But to have an understanding of what it is and the truth about it, if you want to know, it's work, baby. It's not something that's fly by night course. You gotta have your shit together. You gotta do the work. You have to be ready to look at your shadow. See that dark side that you always running from? That you don't want to look at in the mirror? You got to be ready to look, baby. You got to be ready to look. Because if you don't, you won't find your truth. There is light and darkness to everything. And you have to find the balance within it in order to find your truth. So, as I go ahead and wrap this thing on up, because I've been at it for a minute, I had to get on here and do a follow-up to sex and polyamorous living, part 2. You cannot, let me make myself clear, operate in a polyamorous or any kind of poly lifestyle without being whole. without first doing self work, shadow work. You cannot do it effectively. You can do it, but it will be messy. So if you are interested in learning about the polyamorous lifestyle, do your research, but know that the journey begins with you. That means that there's a truth of desire and purpose for your will to be poly, that there's purpose for you to be poly. That means your life calling within this life has something to do with connecting with people in ways that is beyond the explanation of man. Poly is not for everybody. People will have you to believe that it is, but it's not. And the reason why I say this, after saying yes, well, yeah, yesterday, after saying yesterday, because I made this video the day after I made the other one, but after saying just in general that I believe everybody is naturally, every human is naturally poly, capable of being poly, naturally. I still believe that. But unfortunately, in this lifetime, specifically in this lifetime, there are many who have entered into the earth realm during this age and the previous age that came under societal construct, government, culture, mindsets, learned behaviors within households that deter you from operating in a true polyamorous way. That's the clearest way I could see it. So, therefore, some of you will not gravitate to the natural way of being poly. You will stay in the monogamous mindset and you will continue to be monogamous. There is nothing wrong with that. Live your life, baby. Do you and live your truth. Just be whole in it. And no matter what you do, whether you choose poly or you choose monogamy, be whole. And what do I mean when I say be whole? Know thyself. Heal thyself. Do your work, your shadow work. Look within and see those things that you don't want to see, the dark side. Deal with it. There are things about you that you just be like, I don't want to go there. If I just get pushed to the edge, I'm afraid of what's going to happen. Why are you afraid? I just know that the ugly going to come out. Well, let it come out. But find ways to navigate through it as it comes out. Allow it to come out in a healthy way, not to be triggered in a moment of anger where it comes out sporadically with danger towards yourself or others. Now, I didn't mean to go this route with this or go this long with this message, but it is what it is. Okay? So, the follow-up, sex and polyamorous living. That's what this is. But I think I'm going to title it something else. To be healthy and poly, the truth starts with you. If you want to be poly, if you find yourself already operating in poly and you're finding it difficult and it's messy, then maybe you need to begin again. And this time using resources and tools that will help you to be effective. Communicate effectively. Understand why you choose your lovers the way you choose them. Why you engage with people and connect with them the way that you do. Get insight from someone who's experienced in the arena already and have greater understanding than you. I am here to assist in any way that I can. I am here to support and encourage you. I am Queen Kenya, the life coach, aka Empress Queen. You can follow me on IG. You can also check out my website, www.empressqueenkenya.com. You can schedule consultations, readings. I am available to you. And remember, if you want to have a greater understanding about this realm of life, the operating of the vibrations, the Hermetic principles, check out the book, The Kabbalion, Kybalion, by the Three Initiates. It is guaranteed to help you, to open you up to greater understanding about life, period. Also, don't forget, if you want to check out PLA, Progressive Love Academy, for those of you who want to network in polyamorous networks on Facebook. They're also on IG. You can check out their sites. And like I said, I am always supportive of my people doing the work for humanity. So that is my time today, y'all. It is a blessed day. Love, light, and darkness to you. Thank you for your time and attention. And remember, to be poly effectively and operating it effectively is to be whole. It is to know thyself and to know thy purpose and thy calling for this lifetime. Ashe, love, light, and darkness be unto you. Blessings.